You're watching 7 Eyewitness News with Keith Radford and Ashley Rowe, 7 First Alert meteorologist Aaron Minkowski, and sports director Joe Biscaglia.
We hope that the ribbon will be cut on the new national movie chain in downtown Buffalo sometime this year.
That was Mayor Brown almost 1 year ago to the day, talking about a new movie theater coming downtown.
But what's happened since then? 7 Eyewitness News reporter Sierra Johnson is on the story tonight. She's live in our newsroom. Sierra.
Yeah, it's been talked about for a long time. Could a new AMC Theater take the place of the vacant Dipson Theater in downtown Buffalo? Those close to the project say we should find out pretty soon. Now today, 7 Eyewitness News received an email from the project developer Benchmark. It says, quote, the building owner recently made significant progress on terms with AMC and a final decision is expected soon, end quote. A trip to the vacant theater shows a sign in the window that the facility was expected to reopen under new owners in early 2015. Mayor Brown previously said we could expect a ribbon cutting by the end of 2016. And neighbors I spoke with say they're disappointed by the lack of progress, but not surprised.
Especially for someone that was born and raised in Buffalo. They're trying to say that they're making improvements and changing things, and I do see some changes, but a lot of times things are either not improving or getting worse.
Others I spoke with say they understand that sometimes development projects can experience hiccups, but this project has gone on for quite some time. And right now there is no definite timetable for when that movie theater should enter downtown Buffalo, but we will continue to provide you updates on WKBW.com. I'm live in the newsroom. Sierra Johnson, 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Sierra. Also tonight, Buffalo community leaders are now putting the pressure on Albany. They say that the Buffalo Billion Phase 2 is every bit as important as Phase 1. As 7 Eyewitness News reporter Liz Lewin tells us tonight, a huge chunk of that money could support projects like expanding Buffalo's Metro Rail.
What do you think of the existing Metro rail system?
It doesn't go anywhere.
Lisa Hamilton is one of thousands of Western New Yorkers who rides the Metro rail every day. But like others, she says it needs a makeover. Today, Senator Tim Kennedy and nearly a dozen members of Buffalo's leading community-driven organizations sent a strong message to Albany, demanding Phase 2 of the Buffalo Billion funding be included in the upcoming state budget, money that could help extend the Metro Rail beyond Buffalo.
We will essentially double the size of the existing system, going up to Amherst, to connecting UB South to UB North.
The Buffalo Billion Squared is the critical follow-up of the unprecedented investment the state and Governor Cuomo made in our great city. And it's just as necessary as the first round.
Just look at the numbers. From 2015 to 2016, Metro Rail ridership has increased by more than 800,000 riders. And with the governor's pledge of $25 million in Phase 2, Metro Rail numbers could keep growing.
It's very reliable. The cars are clean. The trains are on time. And to get from this station to the medical campus is approximately 12 minutes in my experience.
It's about momentum, Kennedy says, keeping Buffalo in the forefront after years of falling behind.
It is absolutely essential funding that is in that state budget. And I would ask the public to spread the word, to join in on this conversation.
And while Senator Tim Kennedy didn't nail down the exact timeline when it comes to the budget, he did mention one thing, that if Albany doesn't stand in support of Buffalo and the growth here, he won't stand in support of the budget. In Buffalo, Liz Lewin, 7 Eyewitness News.
Governor Cuomo is now fighting hate crime with millions of dollars. Earlier this week, 2 Jewish community centers right here in Western New York received bomb threats. Under Cuomo's newly announced $25 million grant program, schools, community centers, and daycares can apply for money to help bolster security. New Yorkers can also report hate crime by texting HATE to 81336. The Erie County Sheriff's Office has a new member of its K-9 unit to help sniff out possible arson. Axe, a 1-year-old lab mix, will train at the academy for 8 weeks and then be sent out to scenes across Erie County to search for clues. Axe was rescued from an animal shelter in Albany.
West Seneca is now going to honor the brave men and women who were injured while fighting war for their country. They're going to get a special designated parking spot. To celebrate the 85th anniversary of the Purple Heart Medal, West Seneca now has a parking sign outside of Town Hall for recipients of that medal. These are people who were injured while representing their country. New York State Assemblyman Mickey Kern says that he hopes to put these designated parking signs at businesses all across Western New York. And one Purple Heart recipient says this is a very important first step.
It's very important that we do that in the way the world is today, that we always have to worry that there's going to be another war, and that people need to be proud of the people that come forward to defend our country.
There are now nearly 2 million Purple Heart recipients nationwide.
Sure was a beautiful day out there today. How long will it last? Not too long. Don Paul tracking your 7 First Alert most accurate forecast.
Long enough for tonight for people heading out. And there's your good news. By the way, let's show you something I didn't pick up on. I was on the phone at 20 after 12 today with one of my colleagues at the National Weather Service to check on climate records. And the two of us thought if there was going to be a lake breeze to cool us back a little, it would be off Lake Erie. That's not what happened. And here's what I didn't pick up on. We've gotten a northeast breeze from Lake Ontario with all the rising warm air. Cool, dense, heavier air flows in to replace it, so we've dropped to 55. Later tonight, the wind comes back from the south and will boost us back into the 60s much later this evening if you're heading out. In the meantime, here are the model temperatures. The model didn't pick up quite on that 55, but it's close, and that certainly materialized and then some. All that chilly air I said would hang out near Lake Ontario, well, that's what happened. You notice the brief rise in temperature back to the low 60s late tonight, still mild even at the start of the day tomorrow morning out ahead of this sharp cold front when gusty showers and a few thunderstorms cross the region. By midday, look at the temperatures, plunging with a wind chill to boot. And then as we get into the afternoon, we're falling into the mid-30s, and then tomorrow night into the 20s with some lake effect snow showers around. They're not going to be shovelable, but some of the hills could pick up an inch or two. More volatile to the west of us, a severe thunderstorm watch here. These storms will not pack as much of a punch as they currently have when they get to us early tomorrow. The cold air, though, it will. Nothing unusual for February except for this February. Look at these temperatures right now near Lake Ontario. You never get out of the low 40s. And Orleans County, 37 at Albion right now, while we are down to a frigid 55 degrees. But again, we'll warm up later tonight, back at least to the low 60s. We're not going to see 70s around here for a long time. Our hour-by-hour forecast has maybe a sprinkle at 4:30 in the morning up around Youngstown, but the showers and storms arrive early to mid-morning. A few could pack some strong gusts, and then behind the cold front, very windy afternoon, and it gets cold enough for a couple of snowflakes to show up in the hills. And tomorrow night, more organized lake snow could put down an inch or two on the hilly terrain. We may get a spotty dusting up here, and that all winds down during Sunday. So for tonight, we're in the 50s now, except for you up near Lake Ontario. We'll go back to the low 60s toward midnight as that south wind picks up. Tomorrow we start at dawn at 54. We're into those 30s in the afternoon. Very gusty winds, some gusts to 45. Tomorrow night we drop to 25, maybe spotty 2-inch amounts on the hills. Still pretty nasty for the wind chill. And Sunday, kind of a cold breeze out there too, 35 degrees. We ditched the 30s for a few days, back to the 40s on Monday, the upper 40s on Tuesday. And Wednesday, another storm system briefly warms us to the 50s, but a colder pattern will be returning late next week, and the extended range guidance suggesting for several days in a row now, March will be more active and wintrier than February has been.
Well, we have something to look forward to next Wednesday.
Good point. What an optimist.
54 again. All right, thanks, Don.
Joe B joins us now.
Well, it's getting to be about that time. The NHL trade deadline will be here in less than a week, and one name in particular sparking plenty of debate.